My name is Hayden, I'm a full-time software engineer and welcome to my channel. In this video, I want to show you how you can turn your downloads folder from this into this. So that's all the files in your downloads folder moved into separate folders per file extension. This is a quick Python automation tutorial, so let's get into it. Cool, so here we have VS Code and here we have a messy downloads folder. So what I want to do is build a script that puts all these files based on their file type into their relative folder. So all the PNGs will be stored together, all the PDFs will be stored together, all the executables will be stored together, MP3s, etc. Cool, so let's go into VS Code, file, new file, and let's save this as tidy downloads.py. Cool, perfect, in we go. So first things first, we're going to want to find the downloads folder. Then we're going to want to create a mapping from file type to folder, and then finally we're going to want to move all files into their folder. So these are the 3 steps we need to do. So in order to do this, we're going to need a package called OS, which allows us to interact with files and folders. And let's create a downloads path. In order to get the user's downloads path folder, you can do os.path.join of the os.path.expand user. So this basically just gets your user directory, and then we can just join that with downloads, and that should be that. Cool, next what we want to do is create a mapping, so essentially a dictionary between all the, so we want to iterate through all the files and look up what file extension they are, and then create a map between the file extension to all the file names. So the easiest way to do this would be import collections and make a dict or a default dict for each file we can see. So we can say something like file mappings is equal to collections.default dict, and then we can just say for file name in os.list. So basically go through our downloads path. We can say the file type is the file name split on the last character, the dot, in order to get the file type and get them the last one. And then we can say file mappings dot set default. So this is basically saying, right, if we've seen this file type before, add it, otherwise add the key to the dict and then an empty list, and then to that we can just append the file name. So if we run this, what you'll see is, so there's a slight, I've configured my computer a bit weirdly, and my downloads path actually exists on my H drive. So what I'm actually going to do is just paste this in, because my downloads, your downloads path should be in here, but mine's on my H drive, so I've just configured it a bit weirdly. So what we can now do is print file mappings, and what we should see is a map of file type to all the files that exist in there. So let's run this. There we go, and as you can see, we've got all the different file types. This is a bit hard to see, so what we can do is say from preprint import prettyprint, and then use that to make it our life a bit easier. So now you can see, look, all the PNGs are together, all the PDFs are together, all the MP4s are together, so this is nice. Perfect. Let's comment that out. So now we've got all of them. Next we need to move all these files into their relevant folders. So in order to do that, we need to iterate through this file mapping, and for each file type, create a folder for that. So for example, we would make a .exe folder in here, and then basically move this file into that folder. So we can say something like for folder name, which will be .exe, and folder items, because remember we've got a list here in file mappings.items. So first thing first, we're going to need to make the folder. So we can say something like folder path is equal to os.path.join, which just joins two paths together of the downloads path and the folder name. So this will just be our downloads path plus the folder name. So for example, in the first one, it'll be downloads path plus .exe. We can say if this doesn't exist, then we need to create that directory. So now you'll see if I run this, it will create all of the folder paths. So let's see what happens there. Yep, and look, there we go. We've got loads of folder paths, or loads of folders with nothing in them at the minute. So let's delete them, and we're back to where we were. Cool, so now we've got them, we need to basically go through all these folder items and move them from the downloads folder into the relative path. So that's quite easy to do. We can just say for folder item in folder items, our source location is going to be os.path.join the downloads path and the folder. So our destination is going to be os.path.join the folder path. So this is our downloads path plus the file type plus the folder item. And just to make sure that we've got that all right, we can say print moving source to destination. And what this will print out will be, right, I'm moving this file from here to here, which we can do. And let's just check how that looks. So as you can see, it's made the folder paths again. And if I come down into the terminal, yep, look, you can see moving H drive downloads this to H drive downloads PNG. So that looks like that's all working well. There's a couple ways you can move files, but probably one of the easiest is just to rename it and move it. So what we want to say is we want to move this from source to destination. What I'm going to do is just delete these so you can see it all happening. And that's pretty much it. That's all we really need to do. So if we save this and run, you'll see that when this runs, it will look in the downloads path, get all the files by file type, and then for all that file type mapping, it will create a folder for that extension and move all of the files into that extension. So let's see how that looks. And like magic, there we go. So look, we've got all the exes in one folder, all the MP3s in another folder, all the Python files in one folder, PNGs in a different folder. So there you go, super simple and easy script just to automate organising your downloads folder with Python. Really easy, really quick. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and hit the like button. Cheers guys, have a great day.